All right, next game on the docket is the Cardinals and the Texans. The Cardinals are at home and favored by 17 and a half points, and the over-under is set at 47 and a half. On this one, I'm going to really quickly do a pitch on a really low-level comparison of Davis Mills and Kyler Murray in their first four career starts. So Davis Mills is 0-4, had a 66.1 completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a 75.4 passer rating. Kyler, back in 2019, went 0-3-1, a 62.7 completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 78.8 passer rating. Not saying that these guys are even close talent-wise, but I guess I'm just trying to throw it out there that we shouldn't necessarily bury the guy. He's a rookie. He's going to be making terrible mistakes on a terrible team. Interestingly enough, Tyrod Taylor might be logging some practice time this week, so we might not even see Davis Mills. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're looking at this line, because that line is going to go down if Tyrod Taylor is able to step in. But I'm going to throw this over to Jake. Jake, what are you thinking is going to happen here?
Yeah, the biggest difference in that stat line that you're laying out, Mike, is that Kyler Murray was the number one overall pick, and Davis Mills, I'm pretty sure, was a fourth round pick. So third round. But either way, he's no Russell Wilson. He's no Dak Prescott or anybody like that. So the 17 and a half, whenever you're looking at it betting wise, it's a scary line. But I'm so confident in this one that I'm going to take the Cardinals to cover on this. They just beat the Browns by 24 points last week. So who's a better team, Browns or the Texans? I'm going to say the Browns are a better team. So I think the Cardinals are a real deal this year. Their defense looks absolutely amazing. Isaiah Simmons is flying around. That front 5-7, whoever they're rushing is getting to the quarterback. JJ Watt is absolutely insane this year. Chandler Jones, it really looks like, especially I've been watching, being a huge Cards fan, paying attention to their mic'd ups and everything like that. It seems like they're really gelling as a full unit right now, which is terrifying because it only shows what they can become even going forward. So I like the Cardinals in this one. The 47 and a half, I'm tempted to take the under just because I know it's a revenge game for JJ Watt. He's going to be going absolutely insane. I'd also look, all right, take that back. I'm going to take the over because it is a revenge game for JJ Watt. And I actually like, if you're looking at prop bets, I wouldn't be upset to sprinkle in a little money on a defensive touchdown this game. I really think they're just going to be going at Davis Mills. They're going to put a bunch of pressure on him. They're going to really try to go after it. It's going to be with JJ and DeAndre Hopkins. I think he gets a touchdown, maybe two. I think they're going to hyper target him, just kind of feed those two this week. They're going to have a great game. It's going to be fun to watch as a Cardinals fan. It's going to be terrible to watch as a Texan fan because you're going to watch DeAndre Hopkins and JJ Watt destroy your team. That was their team. So yeah, I'll take the over, and I'm definitely taking the Cardinals on this one, even with that huge line of 17 and a half right now. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm all with you there. This is going to be a slaughter. We saw a very similar line earlier this season. I believe the Bills were favored by 17 and a half against the Texans as well. We all saw how that one went. The Texans cannot score. The only person on that team I think you can be comfortable playing each and every week is Brandon Cooks, just because he's the only person that can kind of get open. He's kind of like him, and when Sterling Shepard has been healthy and playing, that's just how Brandon Cooks shows up like each and every week. He's getting some deeper shots. Somebody's got to catch the ball, right? Now for this game, from a fantasy standpoint, as many points as the Cardinals are going to score outside, I don't actually feel you're going to start everyone, of course, but I don't feel extremely confident in all of the pass catching weapons outside of, obviously you're going to start Hopkins, But I think what we've seen with the Texans themselves is they're so bad against the run. They go 3 and out all the time. So it's so easy to just control the clock and consistently gain chunk yardage and almost either just take a shot or two or just pass just enough to continue to move the chains and keep things nice and boring. We saw this with the Colts last week. The Colts absolutely destroyed them. This is the Cardinals. Cardinals defense is better. The offense is better. Cardinals are putting up 37 points, and Kyler isn't even rushing the ball because he doesn't have to. So heading into this game, I'll take the Cardinals to cover the spread. The line is 47 and a half. I'll take the over, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
45-3 covers.
Okay, yeah, slam the over on this one. I do. I'm going to jump on with Jake. What Jake said here too is I do like the idea of a defensive touchdown. It would only be right if JJ Watt pulls one of his classic jump up, tips the ball up in the air. Man, if he returns that for a touchdown, I'd be so happy. Just like, yeah, I'm all about this game. But I actually, especially during Bipocalypse here, watch Chase Edmonds and his injury and the injury report this week. He's had a rough 2 games the last 2 weeks, especially since he initially popped up with that shoulder injury. So they could be limiting him. You know who I really like this week is James Conner. If you want to look at James Conner in like a DFS or, throw him into the play, I think he has a great game. This could easily be one of those games he has those 2 touchdowns because they're not going to be shooting for these explosive plays. That'll be next week against Green Bay. All they got to do is maintain control, and who's able to stop them right now?
Just to back you up on that one, Matt, real quick, is James Conner last week. He was in for 55% of the snaps versus Chase's 37. I know Chase had a little ding up there, but James Conner was also getting 43% of the attempts. So it looks like they're using James Conner mostly in that rushing role and Chase Edmonds in the receiving aspect. So I do like James Conner a lot in this game,
especially when they're up. That's really a lot of the game script of last week. They were just up by so much that, yeah, of course. And yeah, Chase is clearly the hybrid back. James gets the rushes. So yeah, I think that fits perfect with game script here. Tyler, what about you?
So take the Cardinals to cover, take the over. And the beautiful thing about following 2 Cardinals fans is it's really that simple. I've got nothing to add. You guys nailed it all.
Yeah, and I've learned my lesson. I keep having my history of Cardinals fandom doubts on the Cardinals in terms of not thinking that they will lose necessarily, but thinking that they won't cover. But they're 5-1 against the spread too. So
technically, Mike.
Last week I picked the Browns. That was bad.
Technically, only 2 teams in history have had their lines closed at 17.5, and both of them have been upset. So I'm going to throw that out there. But this is going to make that 2-1.
Yeah, this is just a week where I see the favorites covering. I think that the Packers are going to cover. I think that the Rams are going to cover. I think that the Cardinals are going to cover. And I think the next game that we're going to talk about is going to cover. So let's go ahead and move on. Thank you for listening to this little highlight of the 2 Minute Drill podcast. If you want to follow along to other games, here's a playlist for you. If you want to listen to the show in its entirety, show links are in the description. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.